Hare Krishna, Namaste. Welcome to our Gita study session. We are in the 8th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This chapter is titled Akshara Brahma Yoga, the imperishable nature of the soul or imperishable Supreme Lord or imperishable Supreme Lord's abode. How to attain that? That is the message in this chapter. The means to attain the Supreme Lord is spoken in this chapter. That is by remembering. So we have chanted before beginning this session, we have chanted the holy name of the Lord. That is also one kind of remembrance, remembering the holy name of the Lord. In 7th chapter, Krishna spoke about everything about himself, how great the Supreme Lord is, who God is, how great the Supreme Lord is, Gnana Vijnana Yoga, everything about the Supreme Lord. And towards the end, Krishna says, Arjuna, if you can remember me, even at the time of death, you can attain me. Then Arjuna puts forward the question, how is that so, Krishna? How can I remember you? Can you speak more about that final remembrance? And Krishna started speaking. First 4 verses, Krishna answers the Arjuna's questions about Brahma, Adhyatma, all the technical terms. And later, from 5th verse onwards to end of this chapter, Krishna talks about this Prayana Kala. So what is that one should meditate upon, and what are the different ways one can meditate upon, and what is the way one can attain that Supreme Lord? Krishna speaks about that in this chapter. Okay, so verse number 5 to 8, we'll look at that today, but I'll give a quick overview so that we'll see all the connections all over. So Krishna starts speaking about Antima Smriti. Krishna says, Antakalecha Mameva Smaran Mukta Kalevaram. Arjuna, if you think about me and remember me at the time of your death, final moments, if you can leave your body thinking about me, you will attain me. Asamshaya, there is no doubt about it. You will definitely come to me, guaranteed. But if you don't think about me, if you think about something else, because you are thinking so much, many things in your life, towards the end, if you think something else, you'll attain that something else. If you think about a cat, your favorite pet, you'll become cat. Right? So if it, whatever you think, whatever is in your mind, you'll attain that state, attain that nature. And Krishna says that is a general law. And Krishna says, Yoga Yukta, always think about me. Practice. I know it's hard, but practice to meditate on me, think about me. So that is 5 to 8. We'll see that today. And 9 to 16, Krishna talks about different ways of remembering for different types of people. For a person who is practicing Ashtanga Yoga, he has to meditate on the Lord and meditate on himself and also meditate on the Lord. Sitting in a posture, it's really hard. The process itself, Krishna explains, it is really hard. That is for Ashtanga Yoga. We'll see that. So Krishna says you have to bring your life energy, life force, and into the mid of the eyebrow. And if you have to, many processes, it's called Shat Chakra Yoga. We'll see that in detail. That is Yoga Mishra Bhakti. That is for Ashtanga Yogis. And Krishna also talks about Bhakti Yogi. It's Krishna says you just chant my name throughout your life. Easy to remember me. If you remember me, Mamapetyetu Kauntaya Punarjanma na vidyate. Mamapetyetu Kauntaya Punarjanma na vidyate. If you think about me, meditate upon me, you'll never take birth again. You'll attain me. So that's where what is that it means? Like for one to attain the Supreme Lord, that is, a person will go to the spiritual abode. So that's when Krishna talks about this material manifestation, avyakta vyakta, which manifest and unmanifest eternally, comes again and again, again and again. But there is another world which is beyond this material world, that is spiritual world. Yam prapyana nivarthante tadhama paramam mama. Krishna talks about my abode is so supreme. If you can't come to my abode, then you will not return back. You will not come back into this material world. That's it. You will be in spiritual world forever. And Krishna talks about bhaktya labastu ananyaya. That means like my abode can be attained by devotion only, by bhakti only. Even Ashtanga Yogi practitioners who are sitting and meditating, it may take months or lifetimes. End of the day, they still have to think about the Lord and leave the body so that they can attain that spiritual abode. Even for any yogis, even for of course for bhakti yogis, and they meditate upon the Lord by pure love and devotion. That is a visa. That is a visa. Devotion, bhakti, to attain the Supreme Lord. And Krishna talks about different ways one can leave the body. How a devotee lives, Archaradi Marga. He lives through the path of light. The soul departures through the upper region of the body, and it leaves the body and it goes upper planets. When we get there, we'll see in detail about that. When the soul goes through that path, soul reaches the spiritual abode and soul will not come back. But there is a Dhumadi Marga, the path of darkness. When the soul leaves through that path, then the soul comes back into this material world. Okay. So Krishna again emphasizes you focus, remember, meditate on me throughout your life. Be a bhakti yogi. That is easy for you to practice. That's how Krishna ends this chapter. Okay. Okay. In last session, we looked at these various Q&A. Krishna uses quite interesting terminology so that Arjuna could focus and ask questions, and this discussion continues. And we'll see the most important verses from Bhagavad Gita. So I'll ask someone to read.
अंतकाले च माम एव स्मरन् मुक्त्वा कलेवरं यः प्रयाति स मद् भावं याति नास्ति अत्र संशयः. And whoever at the end of his life quits his body, remembering me alone at once, attains my nature. Of this there is no doubt.
Thank you, Prabhu. Anta kale. Anta means last, end, right? Anta, last. Kale means time, like the final moments, final moments. Mameva smaran. Krishna is saying, in your final moments, think about me. Mameva. Ma means me. Krishna alone. Krishna, Narayana, Vasudeva, any any form and names of Vishnu, one can think about. Krishna is not saying you think about Brahma, you think about Indra, Varuna, Chandra. No. Krishna is not saying you think about me, not demigods. Me alone. Ma meva. And smaran. Smaran means like contemplate, not just chanting artificially through the mouth, but you have that remembrance, like emotionally. You be in that emotional state. Ma meva. If you can do that, and if you can leave the body, like mukta kalevaram, at the time of death, soul leaves this body. Just minutes before leaving the body, final minutes, final moments, if you can think about me, Arjuna, it is not just for Arjuna, it is for everybody. Krishna is saying, you will attain me. Madbhavam. Madbhavam refers to my nature. You will attain my nature. That means we become God. No, we become God-like. So we'll talk about that. And yati nasti atra samshayaha. And Krishna is boldly declaring that there is no doubt about it. So we all know there is God. Of course, there is God. We looked at in previous sessions in 7th chapter who God is. We all know how great God is. And why God has to say, do not doubt. We all know whatever God speaks is truth. God doesn't lie. I mean, he could lie when he was a baby in Krishna form, but whatever Krishna speaks is truth. He is the one who has given Vedas, scriptures, Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, all the things to us. But why Krishna is again saying, like highlighting this point that do not doubt. So that means this is do not doubt. Samshaya, there is no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. Do not doubt what I am saying. Do not doubt that. If you think about me in your final moments, you will come to me. Do not doubt. Do not doubt. So that's called Antima Smriti, last minute remembrance. So speaking of remembrance, so how that remembrance happens? We remember, right? How? Like we look at the things, like I look at the phone, I look at laptop, TV, I look at people, I look at movie or sports or many things. We are storing various impressions in our mind. Every single day, every single second, um, throughout our life, throughout our day, throughout our life, in a past life and this life, whatever the life we have lived so far, we have been storing many impressions in our mind. Some impressions we think about it and we forget, but there are some impressions we deeply think about it. We deeply contemplate on those kind of impressions. So what happens, Krishna is saying, like at the time of death, those impressions will come upon, like those reflect at the time of death. It is hard, right? Unless a person is practicing remembering Krishna throughout the life, it is hard for that person to remember in his final moments, remember Krishna in his final moments. So it is essential that the person should remember the Supreme Lord throughout the life. It becomes easy. Otherwise, we are contemplating on many things. Those will reflect, those will come in our final moments. And we don't want that. Krishna talks about that in 6th verse, text 6. In next verse, we'll see that. So what is that I need to remember about you, Krishna? You are saying, I need to remember you. What is that I need to remember you? Can you tell me? So our acharyas or all the scriptures say about this thing. Remembering about the Lord doesn't mean a picture of the Lord or something about the Lord. It's all about Lord is absolute. Lord is absolute. That means his name, Krishna, Rama, Narayana, or any name of Vishnu, and Lord's name and Lord's form. Lord's form in the form of Archa Vigraha. In the temple, we see a deity form of Lord Narayana or Lord Krishna in the deity form of the Lord. Or the Katha, Harikatha, the pastimes of the Lord. Lord appeared as Narasimha, Varaha, Rama, Krishna, many pastimes of the Lord. And the guna, the qualities of the Lord. The Lord is so humble, tolerant, and he displayed many qualities. So Lord is absolute. There is no difference between his name, his pastimes, his actions, and his qualities. There is no difference. One can meditate upon anything. And most importantly, it is recommended in the age of Kali Yuga that one has to meditate on the holy name of the Lord. It's called Yuga Dharma. Every yuga has a dharma. In the case of Satya Yuga, there was a different Yuga Dharma. That to attain the Supreme Lord, one has to do this sacrifices, yagna. In Dwapara Yuga, it was deity worship. And in the Kali Yuga, it is said the only way or only means by a person can attain is by chanting the holy name of the Lord. It is given in the Sveteshwara Upanishad. So one of the Upanishad which highlights the holy chanting the holy name of the Lord. In Bhagavatam also it is given. So in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the Supreme Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Nam Namakari Bahuda Nija Sarva Shakti. That means in the holy name of the Lord, the Supreme Lord has empowered. He personally resides in the holy name of the Lord. He invested all his spiritual potencies in the holy name itself. One may say, I don't see the Lord. How can I meditate on the Lord? Lord is there in the name also, holy name. So just by chanting, we are remembering. Just by chanting, we are remembering the holy name of remembering the Lord. So contemplating, putting these impressions about the God throughout our life, that helps to remember or chant the holy name of the Lord at the time of death. Okay, so another important point I want to say, Samadbhavam, you will attain my nature. So that means, do we become God? No, that means we become God-like. It is said, when the soul is liberated, when the soul goes to the spiritual world, he will be given a spiritual body. In that stage, he has all the potencies like the Lord, that he is ageless, he will not grow, he is deathless, he will not die, he will not lament, no grief, no hunger, thirst. There is no hunger, there is no thirst. As long as we are in this material world, in this human body, or ant body, or dog body, cat body, any body, these things are natural. Hunger, thirst, aging, all these things are natural. But in the spiritual world, in the spiritual state, there are nothing like this. No hunger, no thirst. And what are actions a soul does there, that wouldn't create any sin, right? And Satya Kama, Satya Sankalpa, like all his desires are just like that, fulfilled. Whatever he wants, he could serve the Lord in different ways. Whatever he wants, he can attain easily. So that is the state of a soul, when he is liberated. That's what Krishna is saying. Samad Bhavam, you'll attain that nature. And do not doubt. And do not doubt. Do not doubt. So one more thing, one may say like, okay, now that I heard this, and then at the time I'll enjoy my life, throughout my life, I'll just enjoy my life. And at that time I'll try to remember that, okay, I can do that. It's practically impossible. Unless we remember throughout the life, it is practically impossible. It is hard. If a person artificially tries to chant and commits a suicide, or dies in a different way, and artificially chants, that doesn't help. It also matters how we lived, have we remembered Lord throughout our life, also matters. So we talked about how to remember the Lord. Krishna is saying, if you remember me, you'll not take birth again, you'll come to me. Then other question comes, like, one could die in different way. We don't know how we will die. Right? So is Antima Smriti, final remembrance about the Lord, mandatory? Everybody has this question. So we look at that in a couple of slides. So before that, we'll see this nice story and message, which is in Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the story of Ajamila. And the points we have is Lord Yama, the Lord of Death. Yama is the Lord of Death. He instructs this wonderful message to his messengers. So we look at that. Okay, so that is about importance of remembering the Supreme Lord, importance of chanting, and what happens when a person chants the holy name of the Lord. The Lord himself protects. So we'll see that. So this is a story about Ajamila. Ajamila is a Brahmana. He was born as a Brahmana, like a saintly person. So his life was good. He married at the age of 2021, he was in good state. He was in good state. He was saintly, but accidentally, while he was walking, while he was in the forest, accidentally he sees a Shudrani, a prostitute embracing another man, and he accidentally sees that, and he gets captivated by that woman, and he marries that woman, and and loses all his saintly qualities, and he lives a sinful life throughout his life. But because of his past life impressions, he named this last son. Ajamila had 10 sons. He named the last son as Narayana. He named the his son as Narayana, that is holy name of the Lord Narayana. He named his son. He was on the final bed. He was on the bed, and in his last moments, he was calling out Narayana, his son. Narayana, where are you? Where are you, Narayana? I'm just about to die. I want to see you. Narayana, Narayana, Narayana. At once, he also remembered the Supreme Lord Narayana. So, so that time, his soul was just about to leave the body. I mean, he almost closed the body. Just seconds is just about to leave the body, and that's when he sees two groups. One group is you can see in this picture, the order carriers of Yama or messengers of Yama, and there is another group. This is the Vishnu Dutas. These Yamadutas and Vishnu Dutas left side. So these are the messengers of the Supreme Lord Narayana. So whatever Krishna said in the previous verse, fifth said, if a person chants the holy name of the Lord, he will attain Supreme Lord. But what about the case of Ajamila now? He accidentally chanted the holy name. So Yamadutas, they try to pull this Ajamila. They say like, oh, this person is a sinful person. He never was pious, and he deserves punishment. We'll take him to hell. Then this Vishnudutta says, no, 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 he is a pious person. He chanted holy name of the Lord. That itself is sufficient. And these Vishnudutas were powerful. They chastised these Simadutas and kicked them out. And this Ajamila was given another chance, where he went to Haridwar, and he was able to attain perfection later. So since these Yamadutas were kicked out, so they were really upset. They are like, they seriously go and report to their Lord, that is Lord Yama. And they say, my dear Yama, we thought you are the supreme. We thought you are the one who ordained the rules that a sinful person will be pulled, will be taken to hell. It is you. You have given those rules. How is that someone who were able to reject your rules? There are some people, they are called Vishnu Dutas. They are saying if a person chants the holy name, he'll be taken to the Supreme Lord. We couldn't fulfill our duty. We couldn't serve you like the way you desired. So that's when Yama says, what you said? You said Vishnu Dutas came. You said the person on the deathbed Ajamila chanted the holy name of the Lord. Then Yamaduta say yes, yes. Oh, at once he remembers the Supreme Lord, and he starts speaking. Here Lord Yama says, you know what? Actually, I'm not the Lord. I have the post. I'm carrying the post. Yama, Lord of Death. The Lord is the actual Lord, this God. There is only one God. He's the supreme controller. That is Lord Vishnu. That Vishnu cannot be understood by any other means. Ordinary living beings who are pulled by these three modes, mode of Sattva, Raja, Tama, Guna, cannot clearly understand this Supreme Lord. That Supreme Lord can be understood by pure devotion only. And he says very important thing, Dharmastu Shakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. The rule is the one which is enacted by the Lord. Whatever God says, that is the rule. Whatever I ordained, whatever I spoke, whatever I given the rules, it is also coming from the Supreme Lord. It is not I concocted. And finally, he also says, Yamadharma says that the ultimate dharma of all the living beings is chanting and remembering the Lord. Look at this person, Ajamila. He accidentally chanted the holy name of the Lord. Vishnu Dutas themselves came and they protected. How glorious chanting the holy name must be. And Yama says, further says, Lord Yama says, the holy name removes all sins. It removes all sins. Lord Yama says to his messengers, holy name is so powerful. It removes all sins. It is given in the scriptures, like Karma Kanda section and various section of Vedas, that if a person commits a sin, knowingly or unknowingly, we commit so many sins. And for every sin, there is a atonement given. It is given. If you commit this sin, you have to atone this way. If you commit this sin, you have to atone this way. But we are in this age of Kali Yuga and there is no access to all those rules, and it is really impossible to do atonement to all those sins we have committed in previous life or this life. Many sins we have committed. We have no idea whatever the sins we have committed. We don't even know that we are committing a sin. That is the state we are in. So the best process as prescribed by Lord Yama himself, he is saying, it is also given in the scriptures, that chanting, remembering the holy name, which could remove all the sins, which will purify the soul. In the beginning verses of Bhagavatam, it is said that our hearts are tied by these hard knots. Chanting the holy name, remembering the holy name, it will remove or cut off all these hard knots of lust, greed, anger, jealous, all these negative emotions, makes the person pure. And Lord Yama further says, the devotees of the Lord who chant the holy name of the Lord, who remember the Lord, the Lord's names, Lord pastimes, Lord's messages like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, or anything about the Lord, if a person remembers it, they are protected by the Lord himself. The devotee of the Lord is protected by the Lord himself. Lord personally takes care of this devotee. And Yama says, Lord Yama says here, don't mess up with them. Never ever go to a devotee. Here is declaring here, Yama is declaring here, never ever go to the devotee who is chanting and remembering you, remembering the Supreme Lord. And he finally says, bring those people who are averse to the holy name, who are averse to the remembrance of the Supreme Lord, and who never bow down. In his entire life, he never bowed down to the Supreme Lord. His head is always up. His head is never down like this. Bring those people to me. I like them. I want to have fun time, good time with them. Bring those people with me. Bring those people to me, not the devotees. Don't mess up with the devotees. Devotees are protected by the Lord. So that's the glories and greatness of the holy name and the devotion, bhakti, devotion towards the Lord. So we are in the shloka where Krishna is saying, at the time of death, final moments, if you remember me, you'll attain me. The this has been practiced by many Vaishnavas, the devotees of the Lord. Many people practiced in previous ages. Many people are still practicing in this 2024 also. So I'll tell a story about there are many devotees, but this is unique, about Bhishma. Bhishma, Mahabharat lasted for 18 days, and he was put on these arrows of, he was put on these arrows. He was lying there, but he had his Ichha Mritu, like he can die anytime, whenever he desire, he can leave his body. That is also a boon for him. So he was lying there, but his mind was on meditating on the form of the Lord, where Lord himself lifted this giant wheel he was about to throw on Bhishma. So that was a picture. That was the moment Bhishma Dev was meditating, right? And Lord takes Krishna takes all these Yudhishthira and all these Pandavas and Kauravas and everybody, all the Pandavas there, they all go there, and that's where Yudhishthira inquires. And Lord himself says that Yudhishthira, you go and inquire from Bhishma about the dharma. He lived a dharmic life, you go and inquire from him. And that's where Bhishma Dev chants this. That's where we get Vishnu Sahasranama. There Bhishma Dev says, like, out of all the dharma, whereas rules and regulations, the highest dharma is the bhakti, devotion to the Lord. That is the supreme highest dharma. And that's where Vishnu Sahasranama comes. And at the time of like final moments, he was remembering, he was looking at the Lord, he was remembering the Lord, and he left the body and he attained the supreme Lord. Okay. And that was Bhishma, and there are many devotees, Prahalada and many devotees, they left their body thinking about the Lord. That's how Vaishnavas leave their body. And this is my experience, like I have seen personally. The place we practice, that is ISKCON, we practice. And so it is said like the person must be really fortunate if he's surrounded by a set of devotees, group of devotees like this. If a person is is ready to leave in his final moments, if he's surrounded by a group of devotees, it is said he is really fortunate devotee. So because they make the atmosphere, environment so divine, so that the soul can nicely depart. I've personally seen, and also videos also there, right? What they do is, and just for information, I'm saying, like how the Vaishnavas, they desire to leave the body. So what they do is, like the person who is about to die, so they put nice clothes, and they put the tulsi mala, like this tulsi mala, and all the tulsi leaves, so that body becomes pure. And it's Vaishnava Tilak, they put this Vaishnava Tilak that this person couldn't put himself, right? So they put the tilak. This is considered the lotus feet of the Lord. The thing you can see on my forehead is called tilak. So it's considered lotus feet of the Lord. So we all offer tulsi also on this. This is tulsi. And Bhagavatam book will also be kept next to that person. And they do the small kirtana, nama sankirtana. So makes the atmosphere, environment so divine, so that the soul can depart so peacefully. That's what Krishna is saying in this fifth verse. We must be really fortunate to leave the body like that. And it is also said, like, looking at these marks, like Tulsi and the marks of the lotus feet of the Lord, the Yama will never come. Yama or messengers of Yama, they don't touch us. They stay away from us. We are guaranteed to go to Vishnu Loka, spiritual world, if you can leave the body like that. You may have doubt. What if a devotee who's practicing chanting, remembering the Lord, what if he dies accidentally? So we'll see that in this verse. This is a verse in Varaha Charma Shloka. Varaha Charma Shloka. Lord Varaha has a Varaha Purana. Varaha Purana. Like Srimad Bhagavatam is a Bhagavata Purana. So Varaha Purana has all the details about Lord Varaha's pastimes. So in that, towards the end, there is a conversation between this Bhumi Devi and Lord Varaha. So this is a conversation. We'll read this. I'll ask someone to read this translation.
Sthite manasi susvaste sharire satiyo naraha idhatu samye sthite smarta vishwarupam cha mamajam itatas tam mriyammanam tu kashta Pashana Sannibam Laham Smarami Madbhaktam Nayami Paramam Gatim. If anyone thinks of me when the mind is sound, Sthite Manasi, with the body in good health, Susvate Sharire, and with all mental and physical faculties working perfectly and intact, Dhatu Samye Sthite, thinks that I am indeed the very cause of this universe or the form of this universe, Vishwarupam, then I am without birth, Ajam, then I assure you, Devi, that I will remember this devotee of mine when he or she is on his or her deathbed, lying helplessly like a stone or a log of wood, and personally take him or her to the supreme abode.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's a very beautiful verse.
Sure.
Here, Varaha Devi is saying, here, Neela Devi asks, the Bhudevi asks, now Varaha Dev, you said in Bhagavad Gita and also in the scriptures that in the final moments, if a person thinks about you, they will go to the spiritual world, they'll attain you. But it's not the case with everybody, obviously. You know, people may leave their body in accidents or many things, right? So the situations may not be appropriate. So what about them? My video is not. Let me reconnect. Yeah, you can see me. Sorry.
No, it's
Yeah. So what about those people? They accidentally die. You know, the circumstances, the situations are not favorable to leave the body. Thinking about you. What about them? Then Lord Varaha says this beautiful verse: if a person thinks about me when the mind is sound, that means when we have good thinking abilities, right? Not when we are aging, like 60s, 70s, 80s, mind is not sound, or remembrance is weak, or data storage is weak. The mind wouldn't support us. But if we can meditate when the mind is sound, when our thinking abilities are good, and also when our body is healthy, physically healthy, no diseases, no major problems, and all the physical faculties working perfectly and intact. Dhatu samyate site, right? All the dhatus in the body, in other words, all the organs in the body, or lung, heart, kidney, liver, everything functioning perfectly. All the nerves are working perfectly. When you are physically fit, mentally fit, at that time, even if you think about the Lord, as the Lord be Supreme Lord, attributes of the Lord, if you can able to remember when you are physically and mentally fit, then the Lord Himself is saying, He's giving an assurance like, don't worry, that person will come to me. If a person is lying, even though the person is lying like a log or a stone, like stone, what it doesn't move, right? Doesn't move. In certain people, you may see like towards the end, in their final moments, the body, all bodily function cease. He'll just lie like a wood, stone. In those conditions, if he cannot remember me, it is because he remembered me throughout his life when he was physically fit. I remember that person. I take personal responsibility. I take that person to my abode. There, Lord Himself is giving the assurance that if a person develops devotion to the Lord, meditates on the Lord, we will be gifted. Even though when we leave the body and circumstances are not favorable, in those conditions also, Lord remembers us, Lord takes us back. Okay. So life lesson To attain Krishna, remember Krishna at the time of death and all the times. If we can remember Krishna throughout our life, it becomes easy to remember Krishna at the time of death. And if we also read, when we are remembering Krishna, when we are physically fit and mentally fit, if we can remember Krishna, it is guaranteed to attain the Supreme Lord. Okay, so we'll go to the next verse. I'll ask someone to read.
यं यं वापि स्मरं भावं त्यजति अन्ते कलेवरं तं तम् एवैति कौन्तेय सदा तत् भावितः. Whatever state of being one remembers when he quits his body, O son of Kunti, that state he will attain without fail.
Thank you, Lord. So in the previous verse, Krishna said, if you think about me, if you remember me, you'll come to me. But in this verse, he's saying, if you think about something else, if you think about something else, if you cannot remember me, or if you do not remember me because of the way you lived your life, you're not even thinking about me, what happens? One may have this question, what happens if a person is thinking everything but Krishna or God? So the time of departure, again, ante kalevaram, tajanti ante kalevaram, just before leaving this body, whatever the state of mind a person has, he will attain the similar state. If a person is thinking about his favorite pet, a dog, it is said he will become a dog and become a dog, right? If a person is thinking about a woman, he'll become a woman. If a person thinking about in next lifetime, he'll get that woman body. So whatever the state of mind, if a person is really angry, really mad, and just about really mad and shouting, screaming, and leaves the body, he'll get a similar body where he can do the same thing, like a tiger body. Right? So that is what Krishna is saying here. So Antima Smriti is very important. What one should remember, like what should be our consciousness at the time of death. The last thought. So Krishna is saying here, the last thought, the law of last thought. So there is a law of gravity in physics. There is a law of gravity, law of motion, right? So this is a law of last thought, law of last thought. And yeah, throughout our life, we put so many impressions, right? So those impressions will come. Definitely will come. Just like a spinner wheel. I'm talking about the final moments. Final moments when we are about to depart this body, all those things will come. All those things, whatever those things we are deeply contemplating, or enemies. Mostly people contemplate on their enemies or the material things or wealth or those things. So those things will reflect in the final moments. It's also important, like we need to introspect and look at our thought patterns. What are we thinking? Right? And this we can practically experiment ourselves. Right? Imagine we had a argument with a colleague in office, serious argument, right? And we can see like you had argument in the 9 a.m. Throughout the day, we think about that. It could be colleague or a friend or a closed one. If you had that serious argument, we think about them. Why that person said? Why that? It goes in our minds again and again. And we are just about to sleep. Whatever the time, 9 or 10 p.m., we're just about to sleep. Look at our thought patterns. Those all reflect whatever we're thinking since morning, 9 a.m., those will reflect. And we sleep, get up in the morning, 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. Look at our first thought. What is the first thought comes in our mind? What is the first thought comes in our mind? This is a thought. Whatever we have been thinking in the previous day, deeply contemplating, those thoughts will come first thing in our mind when we got up from the bed. When we open our eyes, before opening our eyes, like when we are awake, those things will reflect, those will go through in our mind. This is very, very practical. One can experience this. That's what Krishna is also saying. Whatever you deeply meditate upon at the time of death, before leaving this body, those things will come. And your next stage, after departing this body, will get a similar body because of your deep contemplation on a thing. Okay, so this is a story from Srimad Bhagavatam, very well-known story about Bharata Maharaja. So he was a king, he lived a lavish life, and at once he desired to take renunciation and go to forest. But while he was living in the forest, he has nothing. He incidentally sees a baby deer. He sees a baby deer and looks at the deer and gives shelter to the deer. And he used to feed the deer milk, food, and he used to play with the deer. And wherever the deer goes, he goes. He renounced everything, but he got attached to this deer. And one day this deer was roaming around and he couldn't find, the Bharat Maharaj couldn't find the deer, where the deer went. Bharat Maharaj was running to find this deer, and he falls from the cliff. And in his final moments, this is what he was thinking: my dear deer, where are you? Where are you, my dear deer? So in his mind, this deer was reflected in his mind. He was thinking about the deer. It is because of that he got the deer body. He literally became deer in the next lifetime. He left this body, he became deer in the next lifetime. So that's how things work. So I just want to say one more thing here. This I got from a nice book, uh, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That's a wonderful, it's a nice book. So there, while I was reading, so there I came across this. This I got from audiobook though. So there, that person was saying that is really good, but is also pertinent to our discussion here. So there, the person says, the author says, how our thoughts shape our actions, habits, and nature. So whatever we do, it starts with a thought. And Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, same thing, right? It starts with a thought. Sow a thought, reap an action. Sow an action, reap a habit. Sow a habit, reap a character. Sow a character, reap a destiny. Okay, if a person gets attracted to a smoking cigarettes, like the thought comes in your mind, okay, I wish I smoke. That's the first thought comes in his mind, and that reaps because of that thought, deeply thinking, that becomes action. Now he starts smoking. Now he starts smoking, it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit. He smokes every day now. It is because he's smoking every day, it is because of his habit that becomes his character. He is well known as smoker, chain smoker. Right? It is because it is his character, that is his destiny. He has to go through consequences in this lifetime or next lifetime. It all started with thought. It all started with thought. Right? So we can take any example. So if a person want to be a devotee, a bhakta, devotee of the Lord, it starts with a thought. I wish I want to know about the Lord. That reaps into an action. I want to attend Gita class. I want to go to temple or do something, say what to the Lord. And that reaps into an action. When we are doing repeatedly, that becomes a habit. That becomes a habit. Devotional services become a habit. When that becomes a habit, we're doing continuously, that becomes our character. We are called as a devotee of the Lord. When our devotional matures, that our character matures, our devotion matures. That's where our devotional stage, like we'll be in the perfect stage. So we can put any example here. It all starts with a thought. Our destiny, or karma, or destiny is all based on like what are we contemplating upon. So it's really important, like our thought patterns. We have to spiritualize our thought patterns, spiritualize our habits and actions to attain the ultimate destiny, ultimate destination. Okay, so life lesson. Death is inevitable. Everybody has to die. Death is inevitable. It can come anytime. Are we ready? Are we ready with the thought patterns we have? If I were to leave this body today, right now, in this moment, am I ready? This is a question to ask ourselves. And life lesson. Life is another life lesson. Life is a test of taste. Life is a test of taste. Everybody has different taste. Taste of food or taste of habits or anything. Life is a test. Like throughout our life, what is our taste? Where are we attracted towards? The test is at the time of death. That becomes our next lifetime. We are making our next lifetime. In this lifetime, we are also building our next lifetime also. Right? So it depends on the taste. Where is our taste? It's really important. What are we really attracted? What is the taste we are really attracted to? Are we attracted to the holy name of the Lord, remembering the Krishna? Is that our taste, or material things really matters? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see this verse. If you can stay for a few more minutes. These are all connected shlokas, and we'll end this session after this.
तस्मात् सर्वेषु कालेषु माम् अनुस्मर युध्य च मयि अर्पितमनो बुद्धिर् माम् एवैष्यसि असंशयः. Therefore, Arjuna, you should always think of me in the form of Krishna, and at the same time carry out your prescribed duty of fighting. With your activities dedicated to me and your mind and intelligence fixed on me, you will attain me without doubt.
Thank you, Prabhu. So Krishna is saying again and again, Asamshaya, don't doubt. Do not doubt. Without a doubt, you'll come to me. So in the 5th and 6th verse, Krishna said in the 5th verse, if you think about me, even at the time of death, if you can think about me, my name, my form, my pastimes, you'll come to me. But if it's 6th verse, if you think about something else, material things, your material emotions, you'll attain that state. That will be your next birth. You'll not come to me. You have to rotate into this repeated cycle of birth and death. Therefore, that's what Krishna is saying. Tasmat. Therefore, Arjuna, Sarveshu Kaleshu Mam Manusmara Yuddhacha. Sarveshu means in all your situations, in all your circumstances. Kaleshu time. In all the times. All the times, all the situations, all the circumstances. What we have to do, Krishna? Ma Manusmara. You think about me and do your duty. Ma Manusmara Yuddhacha. You think about me and do your duty. So in case of Arjuna, his duty is fighting, Yuddha. He's a warrior, he's fighting. In case of Arjuna, it is Yuddha. But in case of us, we are also fighting. Every day we are fighting. Every second we are fighting with so many emotions, many things in our life. Krishna is saying, spiritualize your life. Spiritualize your life. Think about me. Ma Manusmara, do your duties. Think about me and do your duties. Krishna is giving the practical example, practical way one can think about Krishna. And he also adds one more thing. Maya arpita manor buddhir. Don't try to artificially control your mind and intelligence. Just offer to me. Arpita means offer. Just offer to me. Just be forgetful about everything. Just do your duties like a seva to me and remember me. If you can do that, Arjuna and everybody, Mame Vaishyasis Asamshaya, we can attain the Supreme Lord without a doubt. There is no doubt we can attain the Supreme Lord. It is guaranteed. Krishna is giving assurance. You will come to me. There is no doubt, and don't doubt also. Hmm? So, yeah. So Krishna is saying, in all your activities, if you are taking care of children, we can think about children. You can think about Krishna, right? So it is. We can say, we can frame this way. Hmm? If you are going to office to do your duty, think about Krishna. Think that I'm doing it for Krishna and do your duties. If your spouse is not listening to you, spouse is really mad at you, think about Krishna. That is also an opportunity to think about Krishna. If your children are not listening to you, that is also an opportunity. Think about Krishna. If your children are thinking about you, you are really proud of your children. That is also an opportunity to think about Krishna. Thank Krishna. Thank you, Krishna. You gave me this. If you're in adverse situations, that is also an opportunity. Krishna, you have a plan for me. That is also a time we can think about Krishna. When we are in a traffic signal, where we want to rush to a place and we are stuck in a place in a traffic signal, we are waiting, not to get frustrated at that time, but think about Krishna. There is also an opportunity to think about Krishna. Hmm? When we are really mad with the colleagues or the boss at the office, that's also a time to think about Krishna. Krishna, you have a plan for me. I want to think about you. Like put a nice music and think about Krishna. Listen to the holy names of the Lord. Remember the Lord. Right? So there are many circumstances. Everybody has their own a world, their own world. In all our worlds, in all our situations, in all our circumstances, there is an opportunity to think about Krishna. We just need to look for that opportunity. We need to make that opportunity to remember Krishna in all our activities. Krishna is not saying, in case of Arjuna, Arjuna might think, after hearing 5 and 6, Arjuna might think, okay, Krishna, you said I need to remember you all the time. Okay, I'll throw my weapons here. I'll go to forest and meditate on you alone. Arjuna could think that. That's why Krishna is saying, no, 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 no. You think about me while doing your duties. Don't think that by your strength you can kill these enemies. Think that that strength is also coming from me and kill your enemies. Do your work as a service to me. That time also you can think like Krishna, I'm doing this for you. In case of Arjuna, that is his duty. But in case of us, whatever the duties we do, we can spiritualize our actions, think about Krishna. Okay, that's what it is. Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu. Sarveshu kaleshu means in all circumstances, in all our life, all our times, there is an opportunity to think about Krishna. So what Krishna is saying, as Krishna is assuring that we can attain Krishna by offering our mind and intelligence, not to be too much worried about this controlling mind. Everything will be automatically controlled. So we'll end this live lesson. So let devotion be your steering wheel, not your spare wheel. Spare wheel is something we use occasionally. Steering wheel is the one we use mostly. So that's a devotion. Let devotion be, let Krishna be in our life every day. Feed the heart a healthy diet, not a deadly diet. Material things, remembering or contemplating on many unnecessary material things wouldn't help. We need to feed this heart, feed this mind and intelligence, put good impressions, Krishna conscious impressions. That will help. Okay, so with that, I'll stop here. So thank you all for patiently listening. This is a message spoken by Krishna in these verses about remembering him. So whatever I spoke, it is not because of my thing. So it's all from various acharyas and various great scholars are just put together in a format. I'm no way qualified to speak this verse. It's Krishna's mercy we were able to read this together. Thank you. Hare Krishna. End the session.